SpaceX Starlink vs. Project Kuiper, a space-based internet battle. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for no tea. We don't have tea time today, but we do talk about space, SpaceX, Starlink, Linux, all kinds of good stuff on this channel. Today we're going to be talking about SpaceX, Starlink, and Project Kuiper. I've been getting a lot of emails from you guys, and some people get kind of upset with me because I'm not really a fan of Jeff Bezos over there. I just simply am not. Either way, some people are, but I've said in the past that, listen, Project Kuiper is a pipe dream. It is absolutely not going to happen, and if it does, it won't happen for years down the road. And then I qualify it. Right? I'm not just saying it, I qualify it. Well, I was reading a few articles today and I put them all together so I can tell you exactly what's going on. It's kind of interesting because it gives you an idea of the disparity between what Elon Musk is doing and what Jeff Bezos is doing. And I want to bring it to your attention. So any of you guys that have just kind of got upset with me for the last couple of months, what I've been saying, hopefully this solidifies things with you so you know why I say what I do. So before we get into these articles and I give you my commentary, and then after that I want to hear from you down below, I want to ask that if you enjoy the content, even the least, throw it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not. If you are, thank you. I appreciate that. Click the notification button over here so when I go live, when a new video comes out, you'll be notified of it immediately. And if you want to give back to the channel, there's a little thanks button down here. Thanks, YouTube, for that button. Click on that, give $1 or $2 if you like. If not, it's perfectly fine. Consider becoming a member of the channel. That would be even better. And if you want more SpaceX Starlink specific content, I've put together about 520 videos just for you. Helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, what to do, what not to do, what to buy, what not to buy, and of course the why behind all of it. Because as I always say, this channel is about the what, the why. Not just the how, the why. I personally think the why is more important. Anyways, as you've seen with all of these videos for the last 17 days plus, we've been in Europe. Today is no exception. We are in our stateroom on a cruise. We are now heading to another location in Europe. Yesterday, or I guess it would be your yesterday, my today, let's just say we were in Sorrento, which is just absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I will put some footage from that, maybe the day before's footage also into this video. Usually I do it at the beginning and then at the end. So stay to the end and you'll see some footage of my wandering around, let's say, of Europe. It's absolutely beautiful. I've been having a really good time. It is a workcation, I guess. It is work, but also a little bit of a vacation at the same time. And I take you along with me on this journey over the last almost 3 weeks. So we only have a few more days left, and then you're going to see me back in the studio. So before I keep rambling, like I do sometimes on the JC Live shows, if you haven't joined me on JC Live, sometimes it's myself and my wife that is on the show, and it's usually Fridays at about 8:30 p.m. While we've been on the cruise, it's been a little bit earlier, and I can't help it because 8:30 p.m. your time is about 3 o'clock in the morning my time here. So anyways, let's jump right into this article. I'll give you my commentary, like I said before, and then I want to hear from you down below. Very, very important down here. SpaceX Starlink accelerates while Project Kuiper scrambles to survive. SpaceX Starlink has quietly crossed a milestone: 6 million users and nearly 8,000 satellites in orbit. Meanwhile, Amazon's $17 billion Project Kuiper is barely off the launch pad with just 54 satellites. With an FCC deadline looming in 2026, the question isn't whether Bezos can catch Musk, it's whether he can even stay in the race. Very important information. That is 100% factual. Starlink, 6 million strong and still climbing. As of mid-June 2025, SpaceX confirms 6 million SpaceX Starlink users spanning over 140 countries. That rapid growth is backed by an equally aggressive launch cadence. As of June 28th, Starlink operates approximately 7,906 satellites, thanks to 59 launches this year alone. SpaceX now performs near-weekly Falcon 9 launches, each carrying carrying around 24 version 2 mini satellites, an interim model leading up to the far more powerful version 3 satellites designed specifically for Starship. We've talked about those satellites also. Maybe I'll get into it before the end of this video. Version 3 satellites, the real disruptor. Forget the version 2 minis. Version 3 SpaceX Starlink satellites are where the future lies. These next generation behemoths set to launch aboard Starship as early as late 2025 promises up to 1 terabit throughput per satellite and significantly better beamforming and capacity than any other currently in orbit. SpaceX Starlink version 3 Advantage isn't just about raw performance, it's scale. Starship will eventually deploy 50+ version 3 units per launch, delivering 20 times the data bandwidth per flight compared to the Falcon 9. The ramp to Starship-based launches may be the final blow to competitors still dependent on borrowing rockets. Amazon Project Kuiper, a $17 billion gamble. Amazon's Project Kuiper now has just 54 satellites on orbit after a second launch on June 23, 2025, aboard a ULA Atlas V. That's United Launch Alliance. That's a far cry from the 1,618 required by July 30th, 2026, per the FCC's mandate. Miss that number, and Amazon could lose the license to operate the rest of its planned 3,236 satellite constellation. Worse, Project Kuiper has no launch capabilities of its own. It relies on ULA's still delayed Falcon, as well as Europe's Ariane 6, and even contracts with SpaceX, ironic given the rivalry. Its Prometheus chip and AWS integration offers enterprise appeal, but Amazon's low manufacturing rate, estimated at 1 satellite per day, makes the 2026 deadline a brutal climb. Let's just call it impossible. We'll just say what it is. Orbit is the new ground zero. This isn't just a race to beam down faster internet, it's a geopolitical and technological land grab, only it's above our heads, not beneath our feet. Whoever owns the sky owns the network, and right now, SpaceX isn't just ahead, it's building the future faster than the competitors can find the launch pad. That is absolutely the case. So, this is a good article because it kind of gives you a little bit of an understanding of where they are as of today. You're looking at getting close to 8,000 satellites on orbit through Elon Musk's SpaceX Starlink in comparison to 54. 8,000 and 54. Complete disparity, not even close. Now, the thing that a lot of people get on me about is they're like, oh, they're going to start increasing the cadence, blah, 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 blah. And I said, no, they're not. They are not, because no one has a rocket that's ready to launch consistently their satellite. So what is Jeff Bezos going to do? He's not going to do anything. He just has to wait. So according to what they were saying in this piece, actually a couple of pieces, the maximum number of launches between now and when the deadline is, mid 2026, is like another 3. 3 more launches. What the hell are you going to do with that? So even at the absolute best, and I went through all of the numbers here and I broke it all down with the Falcon 9, if Falcon 9 was actually to get on board, which doesn't seem like it's going to happen because they still haven't launched a single Project Kuiper yet, because Jeff Bezos doesn't want to go begging Elon Musk for anything. But even if they were to launch the Falcon 9, the Atlas V, the Falcon, which it's not operational, the Ariane 6, as well as the New Glenn, which has done nothing, even if that was to happen, you would end up with a total of 344 satellites. That's it. That's a pretty good estimate. Let's round up and make it 400 satellites. 400 satellites, that's if all of them were operation, which will never happen. The only thing that we're going to see is ULA launching a couple more for them. That's it. We're not going to see anyone else. But let's just say everyone was to fly for them, not miss a single contract date. 400. They need 1,618 not to lose their license. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, Joe, they're not going to lose their license. And you know what? you're right. They're not going to lose their license. Is it going to be a big stink? Yes, it will. But the FCC is going to look at it and say, well, are they actually in good faith launching monthly just 20-some satellites? And the answer to that is yes, they probably will be. And they will extend that time. But remember, when is it going to be ready? Supposedly, they were going to be able to provide some type of data for a small number of people at the end of this year. With what? Even if those numbers are they're completely pie in the sky, the numbers that I calculated for you guys, 344, pie in the sky. I mean, hell, the Falcon's not even flying. You got Ariane 6 doing nothing. Then you have New Glenn that obviously hasn't put a single satellite for Jeff Bezos's Project Kuiper into orbit. The only company that's put anything on orbit is who? United Launch Alliance, ULA, and that is with their Atlas V. So the Atlas V has maybe 2-3 more launches. That is it. And even if they launch 20 at a time, 27, whatever, you're going to get like another 40, 50 satellites. That is it. That is it. So chances are, instead of 400, they will probably end up with maybe 100, 120 instead of the magic number of 1,618. So even if they did get 100, even if they got 200, even if they got 400, it is not a viable option. They couldn't provide that to anyone. The uptime, I did a calculation of this in a past video. This is why people get pissed with me, because I tell it how it is, I do the math, and the math doesn't lie. Even with that maximum number, you would probably end up with about a 70 to 80% uptime. Who wants that? That means, let's say 20, 30% of the time you're down, you're blacked out. And remember, the other portions on the back sides of those satellites moving by, you're going to have degraded signal, which is going to be just crap service anyways. So you're going to have a very small window of operational time. Who's going to buy that? Nobody. Nobody. It is not a viable option. And that's why I say this over and over and over. And people get upset with me. They go, oh no, Jeff Bezos is going to compete. No, I wish they would. I think it'd be awesome. We need competition. Right now, there isn't any. If you want any type of broadband and you're in a rural environment anywhere, you have to go with SpaceX Starlink. You're not going to go with any type of Viasat. You're not going to go with HughesNet. You're not going to go with any of this junk, right? You have to go with Elon Musk. That's it. That's just the way it is, like it or not. I would like to see the competition, but it's not there. And it's not going to be there. I'm going to go on a limb here, and I'm going to guesstimate when Jeff Bezos' Project Kuiper will be available. And that's if he doesn't give up. Okay? That's if he doesn't give up. The end of 2027, possibly 2028. That's my personal opinion. It's not going to be before that. So all this pie in the sky that all of a sudden they're going to have like some service by 2025, the end of 2025, forget it. They're going to have some service in 2026. Forget it. It's not going to happen. Period. 2027, possibly, it's probably going to be shites, but it might possibly happen. It'll probably be more likely the end of 2027, the end, maybe the mid 2028, somewhere around there. I'm going out on a limb. You let me know if I'm right. And if you're here a few years down the road, you tell me if I was right or wrong here. But this is why I say what I say, because it just doesn't make any sense. I wrote down a couple of facts here, just so you know, and you get an idea of what's going on and the difference. SpaceX Starlink currently are using the version 2 minis that I talk about all the time. And the version 3, I call them the maxis, they're not, but the version 3s, the difference between the two is massive. The version 2 minis are coming in at about 800 kilograms, whereas the version 3s are like 1,900 kilograms. They're twice the size. But what's interesting is they are 20 times the capacity. Did you get that? 20 times the capacity. That is a lot. So what that means is when you launch 100, for example, of the version 3s, eventually with the Starship, when they stop blowing the damn thing up, when you launch 100, it would be the equivalent to launching 2,000 of the SpaceX version 2 mini satellites. 2,000. It is a massive, massive difference between the two. So once Starship actually gets off the ground and doesn't blow up, and they are actually able to open up that Pez dispenser and launch out those satellites, everything is going to change. And everyone could just sit down at that point because it's kind of game over. That's my personal opinion. And that's why I think that maybe Jeff Bezos will pull out eventually, because he's going to see the writing on the wall. It's apparent. It's brutally apparent. And if it's not, I don't know what he's doing. This being said, the other thing that's really amazing with the version 3s is not only they have greater capacity, but they also have those lasers built on, those ISL or inter-satellite lasers for communication. What this allows to happen is you don't need as many of the ground stations. I've said this in the past, that the ground stations might not go away, but there's going to be less of them required because you're going to eventually just need the POPs, the point of presence, which are sitting on the backbone. Why is that? Well, instead of beaming your data up and down and up and down and up and down, right? You don't need to do that because you beam data up to a satellite above you. And let's say the request is for, I don't know, something that's sitting in Alaska. They can now beam that request from satellite to satellite to satellite to satellite to Alaska and then down to a POP in Alaska. You follow me? So what they're doing is they're creating this massive mesh network of laser communication. So at the speed of light in a vacuum, which is even faster than the speed of light with fiber optic cable, if you don't know. So it's just going to be, it's like on a different level completely. Now, what Project Kuiper is trying to do with their Prometheus chip, and we've talked about this also in the past, it's the, the AWS thing. They're trying to hit that commercial grade level type of service so that it's more business. Even though they were talking about this is going to be for everyday folks like us, they're kind of pushing it in that direction. So it's more business, maybe military or something. But it also does this autonomous thing, just like the SpaceX Starlink does, where it then beams and beamforms and it does things autonomously to be able to get good connections and route things properly. So they're doing something similar because they have this chip that's specifically a satellite-based chip called Prometheus. The problem is it ever going to get used? Probably not. I don't know. The other thing that I find really fascinating, and some of you guys do too, and I've talked about this a couple of times in the past, is that these 8,000 now satellites that SpaceX Starlink has up there use their avoidance collision algorithms and functionality, let's say, with their propulsion system to avoid collisions approximately 50,000 times every 6 months. They did the math on it, right? 50,000 times every 6 months. So that gives you an idea on what is going up there in space. There is a lot of possible collisions that are happening all the time, but when you have a satellite as advanced as what SpaceX does, you do not have any of these collisions. Once again, 50,000 collision avoidance maneuvers in 6 months. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I hope you found this interesting as I do, and maybe you get an understanding now on why I say what I say. When we do a comparison between SpaceX Starlink and Project Kuiper, how there's such a disparity, it's just not even close. Not even close. And in my personal opinion, I really do think that Jeff Bezos will eventually pull out because it's just simply not good business sense what he's doing right now. But I understand. He doesn't want to be a loser. I get it. But the writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. I did give that number of maybe mid-2027 to 2028, somewhere around there, possibly getting Shites coverage, but at least something by then. We will see if I'm right. And like I said, if you're watching this a year down the road, 2 years down the road, let me know if I was right or not. Anyways, guys, if you enjoy the content, throw it a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe and do all that stuff. Share with your friends, family, colleagues, Reddit, Facebook, or wherever you frequent. That helps out the channel a lot. Finally, go over to my website, JCristina.com/shop. Once again, JCristina.com/shop. Check out my merch. If there's something there you like, Pick it up. Help support me and my family. And one last thing, like I've said in the past, if you are going to purchase a SpaceX Starlink kit and you're going to go to starlink.com to do so, use my affiliate. If you go to JCristina.com/Starlink, once again, JCristina.com/Starlink, you are going to automatically get 1 month free. And I'm going to get 1 month free. That's just how it works. Do I get paid? No, I don't. There's been a lot of people that say, oh, you're a shill for Elon Musk. Listen, if that guy would give me, let's say $100 for every single kit that I've sold with the 500 plus videos I've put out. The reason I put these videos out because I love the service and it's helped my family. I don't get nothing. I have not seen 1 penny from the man. Okay. He doesn't know who I am from Adam. And honestly, I'm okay with it. I do it because I absolutely love it. And I want to help you guys out. So anyone that says that I'm like a shill for Elon, I am not. And I can say I have absolutely never received 1 single penny from his company or from him or from anyone affiliated with them over the 48 months that I've been doing these videos just for you. Not a single penny. But if I would have gotten about $100 per, I would probably be doing pretty well right now. I'll put a pool in the backyard. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being here. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected, hopefully through SpaceX Starlink, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you guys.